Okay, so hello, Keelan. Thank you for letting me interview you.
Mhm.
I have an assigned group project about the design principle called aging in place. Could you give me like a short explanation about your thoughts and opinions on it?
Yeah, actually last year for one of our classes, we did kind of a debate on aging in place versus care homes because during the pandemic, obviously it put a bigger spotlight on care homes and the problems that kind of exist within them and how in experiences like this, especially like a pandemic, it's a lot easier for diseases and such to spread in a space like that rather than if people were to have their own private spaces. So I think definitely now, like even for me, one of the places I was interested in for my practicum studies was in aging in place, just because it is such a big thing that's going to continue to grow as we move towards like the next generation of like care homes and like senior services and stuff like that. Because obviously, yeah, it's continuing to be a bigger
Yeah, for
discussion and
sure.
topic.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, as you said, like some seniors do not like the idea of nursing homes and would rather stay in their own home. They might even hire like some assistants to help them in everyday chores. Aside from this, though, what are other ways elders would live comfortably in their own home in like a design aspect?
I think a big thing that would probably have to be addressed is like there would maybe it would be smart to like have communities in a sense where like the homes are actually properly designed for people because I mean obviously as you get older like stairs and stuff like that can become a lot more difficult and certain design elements just aren't really laid out for someone as they age kind of thing. So it definitely comes down to like preparing designs that would work. I mean, we even last year in one of my classes had like a different presenters come in and they kind of talked about like as you age, like even a kitchen can become a struggle because like pulling out drawers and stuff like that can be a lot more work and stuff. So I think it would come down to like actually figuring out like design
Yeah.
philosophies for these places and making sure that they fit the needs of the user and still kind of provide comfort because obviously the biggest difference between a home and a care home is like in a house you have personal things, you have space to
Yeah.
like show family photos, you have all this, whereas like in a care home it's usually just like a bed and a chair
Yeah.
and a dresser and like you don't really have the ability to like make it feel homey and make it feel personal. So obviously a big advantage of yeah aging in place would be having that space that's yours and that you can invite your friends over, you can have family over, like you could still kind of do like those day-to-day activities and stuff that might not be possible in a nursing home.
Mhm.
And I know another big thing too is like there are certain grants and stuff like that too that can be rewarded or given if you need, like, say, if you're starting to lose your mobility, like you can reach out to the government and there is like services and stuff like that to help you kind of design your home to fit the changing needs of your body. But I mean, it's tough to say because obviously there's so many different ways that people can kind of start to like age. Like for some people it might be more of like their mental capacity starts to fade over time, whereas other people maybe their physical capacity. So it's
Mhm.
hard to say if there's like one proper design that would work from all because obviously everyone ages differently and everyone goes through more struggles than others. So I mean we can hope to kind of solve some problems, but like it's never going to fit for everyone just because everyone has such different experiences.
Yeah, for sure. Like aging in place tends to improve seniors' quality of life. How do you think the environment from a person's home differs from the environment in a nursing facility?
I mean, I guess I would just kind of reiterate the point of like how obviously
Yeah,
when you're in a care home, like it's hard to like have a personal space and have it feel like it's your
exactly.
own space just because they're so small and like they don't really provide you any like freedom to do what you want. Like you kind of have to stick within the guidelines of what you're actually allowed to do with it. I
Mhm.
mean, sometimes even like they don't really have windows, they don't really have any connection to the outside. Like you're just kind of in this little almost like a cell in a sense. And like it's not the most comfortable and like during the pandemic it was hard for people to like see family and friends because like their care homes were shut down so they weren't able to do
Exactly.
that. I mean there's just a lot of problems that kind of exist because you're just not really given your own space to like personalize it and feel comfortable, whereas when you're in your home like it's a place that for most people they'd probably be like their home that they raise their children in or like they have memories from the past, they've done so many experiences and stuff like that, whereas in a care home it can be difficult, especially like if you're starting to really like regress and start to lose like mobility skills or like lose your mental abilities kind of thing. It's like it's difficult for you to want to be in a space like that just because you see other
Yeah.
people around you that are struggling too and like you just don't really feel like you're being given the best life. I don't know. It's tough to say. Obviously, for certain people, like a care home is the only option, and I feel like it's kind of hard to say like they're a complete problem and like they don't really provide anything, because for certain people like it's the only option. But it's hard because yeah, you're not really being given the best chance in a sense. Like it seems like a
Definitely.
lot of ways it kind of seems like it's a place that you go when like there's nothing else. But I
Yeah.
don't know, it's tough to say, but I do think obviously aging in place is the best bet, because yeah, you just have so many memories usually with the host that you're in. Like you still have the ability to do like day-to-day activities that might not be offered in a care home. Like if you're into certain hobbies and stuff like that, you might not really have a space where you can do that there.
Mhm.
And obviously having like a neighborhood where you can walk around or still see your like neighbors and have like friendships and relationships with them is so much
Yeah.
more beneficial.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Coming off of what you're saying, like home can have many different like factors and definitions. Moving away from this can kind of be like hard for certain people, like moving out of their community and where their family is. Um, what do you think the pros are from being able to stay at home and in the community while also remaining like partly independent, like that sense of independence?
Yeah, obviously there's like super big mental pros. Like obviously it's so much better for your mental health just having
Mhm.
a space that's kind of your own and still being able to do the things that you want to do, because being in a restricting space like a care home, it doesn't really provide spaces for you to kind of go out and do new things or try new things. And like it's more difficult in that sense. So yeah, I'd say a big pro of like staying home is your mental health. Another thing, obviously, like physically too, if you're like making yourself have to do these things more and like do your day-to-day activities like making food every day, because a lot of times like food's provided for you in a care home or a nursing home, so like you don't really do that. So that right there is like a physical activity that's like helping you just with like muscle memory or like physical strength and stuff like that, because it's making you actually go and do that. Like I mean, cleaning a house, caring for it, like even
Yeah,
those little things are so much like there's so much benefits to it when you're at that point, because it just like helps you stay active and continue to do stuff. Whereas if you're in a nursing home, it can kind of just start to feel like every day is the same and you just kind of sit there and don't really participate in anything or do anything.
yeah,
So yeah, no, there's definitely a lot of pros. It just like it pushes you to like still try and like not live, but just like pushes you to want to like still keep going, and like gives you tasks every day and gives you a schedule of things you have to do and things you have to accomplish. And it definitely makes it so that there's more things that you can do to keep busy. And like it's just yeah, I mean, it's yet again like I don't want to sound like nursing homes are a problem, because like
mhm,
I
yeah,
said, for some people it's the only option. But it's just it truly does give you a better lease on life when you are probably aging at home, because it just makes sure that you're still kind of like continuing to do things with your life. Whereas in a nursing home, a lot of people kind of just don't really want to do anything. Like
yeah.
they kind of just start to regress and forget people, forget things. They don't really
Mhm,
like challenge themselves anymore. Like it's just it's kind of a place where it's not really the happiest in a sense too, just because yeah, you
definitely.
don't really have anything to look forward to. There's like I said, obviously during the pandemic, like you couldn't really have any visitors, you couldn't really see people. Like that
Mhm,
right there is a huge thing for a lot of these people, because like they go into these care homes because their families like, oh, it'll make it so much easier for us to come visit you, like it'll give us a chance to get together more, blah blah blah. And
mhm,
then when that happened, like they weren't able to see each other for 9, 10 months kind of thing, and those
yeah.
were the lucky ones. So there's definitely a lot of positives towards aging at in place versus in a care home, just because yeah, like you're challenging yourself physically and mentally, you're experiencing so much more, you can still see people, so it's obviously good for your mental health in that sense. Like you can kind of control your diet and stuff too, obviously, because in a nursing home it's all kind of set out for you. Whereas if you're at home, like if you wanted to cook certain things for yourself rather than just like something that's beneficial for everyone, like there's definitely a lot of good things about it.
Yeah, I agree. Like lots of pros compared to cons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Keelan. That finishes up our interview.
Okay.
Yeah, thank
Hopefully
you
that
for
was
letting.
enough
Yeah,
information.
yeah, thank you for letting me take some of your time.
No worries at all. It was super,
Yeah.
super easy.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.